Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to this podcast. And today's topic is on public-private partnerships in tourism, or what we like to call PPP. And it's the second last day of 2023, and it's most likely our last podcast. I am sure we understand these two terms, public sector and private sector. Public sector means the government, private sector refers to businesses and companies. And public-private partnership, or PPP, is something that has been happening in many different industries and sectors. And in the tourism industry, it is also something that has started many years ago. Public-private partnership is something essential and important in the tourism industry because it brings together the capital or the finance from the public sector. Not always from the public sector. Sometimes finance can come from the private sector, but often we will see that the capital comes from the public sector. And then we have things like skills and technology from the private sector. So it's a combination or a coming together of two important sectors solving problems and challenges in the tourism industry. And what I want to talk about mainly today in this podcast is the way forward for PPP in particularly a post-pandemic tourism industry. During the pandemic, we have seen how important and crucial the partnership between the government and the private sector is. When we have almost close to 80-90% shutdown of the global tourism industry, we discover in many places and in many examples and cases where the skills, the expertise of these two different sectors need to come together to find solutions and to overcome the obstacles and challenges. Where the private sector leads in specific areas, it can well be supported by the private sector, and vice versa. We are now seeing a wave of sustainability certification in more and more countries in Asia, particularly Southeast Asia. We are seeing countries like Malaysia, Thailand, and my country, Singapore, embarking on sustainability certification. The mandates for sustainability certification is happening 1.5 years ago, and it will likely continue. And the push for sustainability certification is very well an example of Triple P. It's very well an example of how the public sector wants to start something, how the public sector gathers resources, including bringing in the private sector to help push along initiatives and new ideas. Going forward, we will see more and more public-private partnerships. We will see PPPs being done more innovatively. We will see PPP starting to include more and more of the smaller players in the private sector. We will see PPP endearing or rather endeavoring to cover more issues and challenges that the tourism industry is facing. We may also see in countries where PPP is more developed, PPP not only just covering more areas, but we will see more innovative and more creative ventures that public-private partnerships can go into. From wildlife conservation to the safeguarding and preservation of tangible and intangible heritage and culture, to strategies to spread out tourists. Many issues and problems and challenges that the tourism industry is facing or has been facing. Using public-private partnership is indeed a very clever and very useful tool. So I endeavor that one of my first few podcasts in 2024 be looking at maybe 2 or 3 specific examples in Asia of public-private partnerships in the tourism industry. May I take the opportunity to wish you a good weekend. It's a rainy Saturday here in Singapore, raining in most parts of the island. And may I also wish you a happy New Year. May 2024 bring you new opportunities. May 2024 bring you good health, prosperity, and happiness and laughter surrounding you all the time, all the days of this coming new year. Kevin signing off here. Thank you and bye-bye.